West Texas. The oil field lay quiet beneath the heavy sky, its cracked earth bleeding rust where derricks once pumped life from the ground. Now, the field slept, or tried to. Jacob Torres tightened his jacket against the dry wind and stared at the capped well ahead. Its iron casing was dull and pitted with age. But something strange was happening. There was sound coming from the pipe. It wasn't the wind. Not exactly. It was lower, deeper. Like a note being sung through metal. He crouched, pressing an ear to the cold steel. And then, he heard them. Voices. At first, they were faint, like whispers carried across the desert. Then they grew clearer. Jacob, don't trust them, don't trust the news. He jerked back, almost dropping his flashlight. Hey, Torres! The shout made him spin around. Mike, one of the older field workers, waved from a few yards away, holding a crumpled stack of papers. You hear it too? Mike asked, eyes darting nervously toward the well. Tell me you hear it. Jacob nodded slowly. It's singing. Mike shook his head. It ain't singing, kid. Listen. He shoved the papers into Jacob's hands. Jacob smoothed out one of the stained, yellowed sheets. The handwriting was jagged, frantic. On July 18th, the birds will fall silent. Do not trust the broadcast. Another note. He will look like you. He is not you. Jacob felt a chill creep down his spine. What is this? Found them around the well casings, Mike said. Been working these fields 30 years and I ain't never seen nothing like it. Wells don't talk. And they don't leave notes. The voices were growing louder now, resonating up from the capped shaft in a haunting, harmonic chorus. Hell with this, Mike muttered. Management says we gotta check the casing for leaks. You're the lightest, get down there. Jacob hesitated, staring at the well. The voices almost seemed to be calling his name. Fine, he said finally, fastening the harness around his chest. Scene shift, inside the shaft. The narrow shaft swallowed him whole as he rappelled down. The air grew colder, heavier. His flashlight's beam danced across slick metal walls streaked with condensation. Then his radio crackled. BZZZT, Jacob? You okay down there? He pressed the button. Yeah. Just a few feet more. A sound echoed below him, faint at first, then stronger. Jacob. It was his own voice. He froze. What the hell? The beam of his flashlight caught movement below. There was a man. Pale. Wild-eyed. And staring straight up at him. Jacob's breath caught in his throat. The man's face was his face. The double raised a trembling hand. Jacob, listen to me. You've got to get out. Don't believe the news. Don't believe them. The voices around them swelled, a dissonant choir rising from the oil-black depths. The shaft trembled. Cracks snaked along the walls. Get out. The double screamed. Before they make you one of me. The shaft walls groaned. Metal tremors vibrated through Jacob's harness. His flashlight flickered once, then again. The double below clutched the steel wall, face pale and slick with sweat. They're listening, Jacob. They know you're here. Jacob's throat was dry. What are you? His double's mouth twisted, eyes wide with terror. I was you, before I stayed too long. The voices grew louder, overlapping in a haunting chorus. Don't believe them, don't believe them, don't believe. Above, Jacob heard Mike's distorted voice over the radio. Torres? You okay down there? Something's wrong with your line. It's... The rope jerked violently. Jacob's heart slammed against his ribs. Mike, pull me up. Now. Static hissed back at him. Jacob, the double whispered. They'll send the news crew. Don't listen to them. The signal comes through the broadcast. The walls began to crack, black veins seeping out, pulsing like arteries. The voices screamed louder now, dozens of them, hundreds. Join us, join us. The double lunged, grabbing Jacob's arm with a desperate strength. If you go back up, you won't be you anymore. They'll make you just another transmitter. Like me. Jacob's light flickered again. Above him, the fraying rope made a sharp snapping sound. No! Jacob roared, kicking his double away. He pulled his knife, slicing the man's fingers off his sleeve. The double fell backward into darkness, screaming. The rope shuddered. Jacob scrambled upwards, every muscle screaming in agony as he climbed. The voices chased him, a choir of distorted Jacobs whispering his name. Jacob, stay, stay, stay. Topside. Night. Jacob collapsed onto the cracked earth, gasping. His clothes were soaked with sweat and something thicker, oil? Mike stared down at him, wide-eyed. You're bleeding, Mike said. Jacob looked at his hands. Black liquid dripped from his palms. No, it's not blood. Later that night, Jacob sat alone in his trailer. The notes Mike had given him lay spread across the table. Each one was worse than the last. They're not drilling for oil. They're drilling for voices. When the cameras arrive, it's already too late. He will wear your face. His phone buzzed. A news alert. Breaking. Local workers in West Texas report mysterious sounds from abandoned wells. Officials dismiss rumors as superstition. Jacob stared at the screen. Then he heard it. A faint singing. Not from outside. From inside the trailer. Jacob hadn't slept in 2 days. Every time he closed his eyes, he could still hear it. The hum, the voices, the faint metallic singing that seemed to curl like smoke inside his skull. He tried turning up the radio. He tried drowning it out with bourbon. He even considered stuffing cotton balls into his ears. Nothing worked. The sound was inside him now. Mike stood in the doorway of the trailer, holding a lukewarm cup of coffee. You look like hell, Mike said. Management's sending a news crew tomorrow. They want to film the wells. PR bullshit. Call it mystique marketing. Jacob didn't answer. He was staring at the bundle of crumpled notes on the table. His fingers tracing a single line over and over again. When the cameras arrive, it's already too late. Jacob, you even listening to me? That's a mistake. His voice was low, flat. Mike chuckled nervously. Come on, man. You don't believe those crazy scribbles, do you? What is this, some Twilight Zone crap? Just bad insulation down in the wells. Makes the wind sound funny. That's all. Jacob's head snapped up. That wasn't the wind, Mike. Then they heard it. A sound. At first, faint. Then louder. The singing. But this time, it wasn't coming from the oil field. It was coming from inside the trailer. The old CRT television in the corner crackled to life on its own. The screen flickered, static dancing like fireflies across the glass. Did you turn that on? Mike asked, taking a step back. Jacob shook his head slowly. No. On the screen appeared a man. Jacob's heart lurched. It was him. But his skin was too pale. His eyes too dark, glossy pools of black oil. The figure leaned closer to the camera. If you're watching this, it's already too late. Mike cursed under his breath, fumbling for the remote. This isn't funny. This some kind of prank? The Jacob on the screen smiled, a thin, knowing curve of the lips. Tomorrow, when the cameras arrive, don't look at the lens. The voices in the walls rose in harmony, louder, louder, until Mike clamped his hands over his ears and screamed. Make it stop. Goddamn it, make it stop. Jacob's eyes locked on the TV. The other him mouthed one last word before the screen went black. Seed. Silence. Then, the faintest hum. The night was blacker than oil. Jacob's truck rattled down the dusty road toward the well field, its headlights slicing through a fog that hadn't been there the night before. The notes weighed heavy in his pocket, as though they were alive. The song is not from the earth. The wells are the mouths. The mouths must stay closed. He gripped the steering wheel tighter. Whatever was happening, it wasn't done with him yet. The wells loomed ahead like broken teeth. From their capped throats came a sound, not quite singing, not quite screaming. It vibrated through his ribs, into his skull, until he wanted to tear his own ears off. And then he saw it. A figure standing at the edge of the largest well. It turned. His own face. You came back. The double's voice was a rasp, wet and hollow, like air forced through waterlogged lungs. It's already inside you, Jacob. The seed took root the first time you heard the song. Jacob stepped back, heart pounding. What are you talking about? They'll use you to spread it. through the cameras, through the wires, through the air. The ground trembled beneath Jacob's boots. Thin cracks split open in the dirt, oozing thick black liquid that steamed in the cold night air. The double pointed at him. "You have two choices. Go back and let it grow, or jump in and end it before it blossoms." Jacob looked down into the yawning mouth of the well. The singing grew louder, 1,000 voices crying in harmony. He could almost see something moving far below, coiling shapes in the darkness. And then his radio crackled. "Mike. Jacob. News crew's here early. They're filming. Jesus Christ, there." The transmission dissolved into static. Jacob clenched his fists. The double stared with those bottomless eyes, waiting. "Choose." The rope groaned as Jacob lowered himself into the well. The air grew colder with every foot he descended, the light from his helmet flickering against the slick metal walls. It smelled of rust and earth, and something sweeter, like rotting flowers. Above him, the double's voice echoed faintly down the shaft. "Don't hesitate, Jacob. Once it blooms, you'll never be free." He didn't answer. He couldn't. His mouth felt like it was filled with oil. The singing grew louder, surrounding him now, pressing in from every direction. Voices overlapped, men, women, children, crying, whispering, chanting in an alien tongue. The walls began to pulse. Veins of black ichor snaked through the metal, beating faintly, like the well itself had a heart. Then his radio crackled. "Bust in silhouette, Mike, frantic. Jacob. The news crew, they're inside. There, oh God, there's something coming out of the cameras." The transmission dissolved into a wet, static hiss. Jacob's grip faltered as the rope jerked violently. He looked down. A faint light flickered below. Something moved in the darkness. And then he saw it. A vast, writhing mass. Tendrils like tree roots twisting and knotting together, pulsating in time with the song. In the center? A colossal black flower, its petals slick with oil, slowly unfurling. Inside its heart, 1,000 tiny faces. Screaming. "You're too late," whispered a chorus of voices. "It's already awake." Jacob's flashlight sputtered out. In the darkness, he felt something brush against his cheek. Soft and wet, like the caress of a petal. Then a voice, his own voice, spoke from the void. "You're not real anymore." The rope groaned as Jacob lowered himself into the well. The air grew colder with every foot he descended, the light from his helmet flickering against the slick metal walls. It smelled of rust and earth, and something sweeter, like rotting flowers. Above him, the double's voice echoed faintly down the shaft. "Don't hesitate, Jacob. Once it blooms, you'll never be free." He didn't answer. He couldn't. His mouth felt like it was filled with oil. The singing grew louder, surrounding him now, pressing in from every direction. Voices overlapped, men, women, children, crying, whispering, chanting in an alien tongue. The walls began to pulse. Veins of black ichor snaked through the metal, beating faintly, like the well itself had a heart. Then his radio crackled. "Bust in silhouette, Mike, frantic. Jacob. The news crew, they're inside. There, oh God, there's something coming out of the cameras." The transmission dissolved into a wet, static hiss. Jacob's grip faltered as the rope jerked violently. He looked down. A faint light flickered below. Something moved in the darkness. And then he saw it. A vast, writhing mass. Tendrils like tree roots twisting and knotting together, pulsating in time with the song. In the center? A colossal black flower, its petals slick with oil, slowly unfurling. Inside its heart, 1,000 tiny faces. Screaming. "You're too late," whispered a chorus of voices. "It's already awake." Jacob's flashlight sputtered out. In the darkness, he felt something brush against his cheek. Soft and wet, like the caress of a petal. Then a voice, his own voice, spoke from the void. "You're not real anymore." The desert was silent again. No wind. No birds. No song. Just the endless horizon of West Texas stretching like an open wound. A week had passed since the news crew disappeared. Their equipment was found melted, warped. As if it had been left too close to something ancient and hungry. The footage was corrupted beyond repair. Static. Screams. And in one frame, only one, Jacob's face. Eyes shut. Mouth open. Singing. Mike sat alone on the back of his pickup, staring at the capped well. It had been resealed, welded shut by some panicked contractors flown in from Houston. No one spoke about what they'd seen. Not anymore. But Mike heard it sometimes. In dreams. In radios left on too long. In the silence between commercials. A faint voice, like smoke in his ears. You left him. Somewhere far beneath the desert. In a place deeper than any drill could reach. Jacob was still falling. Or floating. Or blooming. The flower had opened for him. And inside its endless black heart, he had become part of the signal. His body no longer mattered. His memories had unraveled. But the song remained. He was the transmitter now. The voice inside every broken speaker. Every empty channel. Every silence that lasted a second too long. One day, far from the oil fields, a child in Oklahoma would turn on a toy radio and hear a hum. A woman in Poland would switch on her television and see static twist into a smile. And a satellite drifting in orbit would pick up a faint signal. Don't trust the news. The wells were only the beginning. Now, the earth was singing everywhere. And no one could turn it off. Stop sign.